All right, we're product studio team number 20. How might we pertain to the treatment industry? And to solve the problems in that industry, we've decided to build a financial services application plugin. Before you can know what problems in the industry that product solves, you need to know more about treatment itself. So treatment is generally the process by which unclaimed property that has remained unclaimed beyond its quote unquote dormancy period ultimately escheats to the state. So think of uncashed checks, dividends that were never received by the proper recipients, coupon payments that were never received, credit balances at service providers, et cetera, et cetera. These assets, once they've exceeded a certain dormancy period, then escheat to the state. The state then turns around and invests these assets into an interest-bearing account and uses the proceeds of those accounts to fund state-level initiatives, everything from building hospitals and roads to funding state-level deficits. So ultimately, our objective here is to expedite this process, and we think the best way to do that is to build a plugin for financial services applications. So Ali is going to talk to you more about the product.
In terms of actually building the product, we have a few different factors that come together nicely for us. What we're looking to do is essentially build a plugin that integrates into mobile banking apps and uses the customer information the bank already holds for KYC and AML regulations to launch search and claim processes. So that reduces paperwork. It expedites the process of actually providing documentation for this process. And the other thing is that we know that it's technically feasible given the resources and time that we have. Finally, we extract a percentage-based fee that makes the whole business model viable. Next, Radhima is going to speak about the iterative supply.
The application is technically feasible to develop, and an example of a similar application is Stripe, which is a $100 billion payment platform, which was developed by two brothers from scratch in 2009 and only started receiving funding 2 years later in 2011. Some of the development and cost factors that we will be considering include the app development, since the development tasks will include financial services applications integration, as well as API access, hosting costs, since for legal reasons, data processes and records must be hosted on public and private clouds, payment processing, since a functioning service will require payment processing for banks, and the fees for governments, banks, and lawyers, since they have to be compensated.